All right, these next two stories are going to contain video clips really not suitable for children. There's no gore or anything like that, but you'll understand, I think, as we go. So Donald Trump held a rally over the weekend. Just another rally, right? Who cares? Well, this one was actually one of the most disturbing and alarming rallies I can remember. Maybe the most alarming I've seen from Trump, because it had all the normal things. It had the lies, and we'll look at some of the lies. It had the delusional crowds whose ignorance has been completely weaponized, which we will look at. The cheering at horrible things, all of that. But this rally in the important election state of Iowa had some notable and key differences. First, as Dino Badala wrote for CNN, key Iowa Republican elected officials were there. At the Georgia rally a couple weeks ago, Trump attacked that state's Republican leaders. This time, this weekend in Iowa, despite the insanity of Trump for the last 6 years, Trump losing the White House for Republicans in 2018, losing the Senate and the White House in 2020, inciting a riot on January 6th. Iowa's Republican leaders were all there, and they are still supporting him, which is a very dark signal for democracy. Chuck Grassley, as Dino Badala wrote, after criticizing Trump's incitement of the January 6th riots, was right there in Iowa this weekend praising Donald Trump. So after all of it, in now October of 2021, Trump is still in control of the party. The blind loyalty is still there, and Trump spent the rally telling horrible, corrosive, demonstrable lies about the election of 2020. So let's jump right in. Trump heavily into the xenophobia. Here he is saying the Afghan refugees are people we'll, quote, soon be hearing about. He seems to be alluding to soon they're going to carry out attacks against the U.S. and you'll be hearing about it.
It was great. They had no idea who was getting on those planes. We still don't have any idea. Only 3% were qualified to be taken to a place called the United States of America. Isn't that something? 3%. You're going to be hearing from those people over the coming years in a very bad way, right?
Trump then talking about his travel ban as something to prevent people from coming here who want to blow up our cities.
The Democrat bill will also admit every foreign national previously denied under my national security travel ban. Remember I had the travel ban? Everyone said, oh, what a horrible thing. I said, no, we really don't want people in our country who are going to blow up our cities, if you don't mind. We don't want Fifth Avenue blown up.
Now remember that the travel ban was actually targeted at countries that were not source countries for people who came here and attacked the United States. Trump then moving on to the topic of abortion, saying Democrats support killing babies even after birth. Now, that's murder. No one supports that. It's also not legal, but take a listen to Trump.
Quickly, the bill abolishes the Hyde Amendment, forcing taxpayers to fund the far left's extreme abortion agenda, ripping babies from their mother's womb right up until the moment of birth, and in fact, killing babies even after birth. You saw that in Virginia with the governor of Virginia after birth.
So that was a widely debunked fake news story from the right a couple years ago, actually. It's not true. The crowd maybe doesn't know, maybe doesn't care. Who knows? But they cheer. So then we get into the 2020 lies. Here's Donald Trump teasing the idea that he might come back, because remember, he didn't concede. Hillary conceded. He didn't.
Legitimate. They called it everything in the book. It was fine. When I say it, now here's the difference. Hillary conceded. I never conceded. Never.
That's how you fire up a low information crowd. Then Trump saying the corrupt media and Democrats used COVID to put in place mail-in voting. It's hard to even exactly follow what he's saying, but it's part of the 2020 big lie that he continues.
These people are so corrupt. The media, look, I don't need to do this, but the media is corrupt. And you know what? When I started, I'm so proud of this. Two things I proved. Number one, the elections are totally corrupt in our country. They have been for a long time, but never like they were this last time. They used COVID in order to cheat and rig. And the other thing is how dishonest the media was, because they were at 96% approval rating before I came along, and now they're like in, what, the 20s.
And then just Just to show you how much he's in control of this crowd, the crowd actually starts chanting Trump won as Trump just tells lies about the 2020 election.
But let's hope he does. Our country needs it. Arizona needs it. And with all of those numbers being so horrible, we did.
As I've said before, Trump without his followers is really not much. But with the followers, it is something very serious and scary. Trump then continuing to struggle with certain words. Minneapolis, of course, Minneapolis, that's just par for the course now.
That's not working out too well. You see in Minnesota, Minneapolis there.
I went to a conference in Minneapolis once. It was weird, really, really weird. Trump then referring to someone as persnippety instead of persnickety.
He was with us all the way. Every time I needed something, you know, he's very persnippety sometimes, right? He's tough.
Persnickety, of course, means fussy. Persnippety, I don't know what that one means. Your guess is as good as mine. Trump then hilariously mentions, apparently he's serious, he'll quickly finish building the border wall. When? What are you talking about?
We will quickly complete the border wall and we will end illegal immigration once and for all. We will have to start it all over again.
Remember, he was going to do the border wall in one term. We all knew he wasn't, and he didn't. Didn't happen. Does the crowd know that? Do they care? I have no idea. Maybe this is that same kind of magical thinking we talked about, where they see themselves as being in like a war where individual facts don't matter. Just if Trump says it, you've got to cheer for it because you're part of the crowd. Is that what's going on here? And then ultimately, Trump wound down the rally with a completely unintelligible rant about critical race theory, including in the military.
We will ban critical race theory in our classrooms. We will ban that horrible, crazy, critical race theory in our military. We will ban it from our workplaces. We will ban it from our federal, state, and local governments. It will be banned, permanently banned, and will never be allowed to come back again.
I don't even know what I can really say about this other than, as I've said before, I find it sort of quaint when they talk about banning a theory. What they mean is banning the teaching of it, right? Like how do you ban a theory? But it seems what they mean is they want a gag order, which is, of course, very authoritarian and very much a restriction on what people can talk about, quite frankly. So absolutely delusional event. The crowd goers, as much as Trump. We're going to listen to the crowd goers in this next segment. But the really dangerous cherry on top is that at this stage of the game, this late in the game, prominent Iowa Republicans, Chuck Grassley, still openly supportive of Donald Trump after everything he did. 2024 is really looking as rough as you can imagine, and we'll have time to talk about it once we get beyond the midterms. Next, let's talk about the rally attendees. One of our sponsors is Atlas VPN. In the year 2021, many computer security experts say everybody should be using a VPN whenever you connect to the internet. Atlas VPN keeps your information private from big tech companies, from your internet service provider, even from governments. Atlas VPN helps you stay protected from hackers trying to steal your data. And Atlas VPN even lets you watch shows and movies on Netflix and other streaming services you would otherwise only be able to access from other countries. I use Atlas VPN on all of my devices, phone, computer, tablet, whenever I'm connected to the internet. It's so easy to use. You sign up, install it, turn it on, and you're done. Out of sight, out of mind. You stay protected. And right now, my audience can get Atlas VPN for $1.39 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You just have to go to atlasv.pn/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.